try to the chat open. Not entirely open, at worst 20 minutes. Subscribe time. Many people need to be subscribed to me for 20 minutes, but leave a comment. So, I have a screen going in the living room too, my computer desk. And I'm playing Chuck Langenberg over there. So, in this stream, I'll be live as I get some routines done. I woke up around an hour ago or so. But what I do was my morning routines. I wake up, have some coffee, vitamin C water, first thing in the morning. I read a chapter of the Bible after waking up. I have like a one chapter a day minimum reading plan. So I read at least a chapter of the Bible per day. And I got my very minimum amount of Bible reading done quickly after wake up. That is in case I get carried away by other things, forget. I got the one chapter down, which is a very minimum chapter a day. Keeps the devil away. So yesterday I went to bed and I started a live stream playing Chuck Langenberg audio. So Chuck Langenberg is a video. The question is, would it stop people and when? Okay, and he died of natural causes. Sorry, yeah, natural to the line of business he was in, being a taught individual. So I believe that he could have been Epstein, quote unquote. I was actually listening before starting the stream. I opened up YouTube and saw some guy talk about Epstein, new footage and new content on it. So some people think that he was unalived, that they took him out and made it look like he took himself out. And some people say that he might still be alive, that they faked his death. Now, I don't feel like talking about that right now. So it's the point. My name is Mike SAHA, and I'm a taught individual, taught with a secret persecution program called Gang Stalker taught individuals. And I've been taught for more than a decade, which is the same as saying 10 years. And what is gang stalking? Gang stalking is real, first of all. It's a secret persecution program. It's a program that works to harass and target people. It's not just harassment. The target is not limited to psychological harassment tactics. I've been targeted physically in vital ways by the program, food poison, targeted with chemicals. After I became allergic to perfume, the program started using what I'm allergic to affect me negatively physically. The things like this. I've had them make at least half-hearted attempts at my life. Now, how many half-hearted attempts equate to a full-hearted one? If it's happened like 10 times that I try to make up an accident when out in public, how many half-hearted attempts equate to a full one? Okay, so I've had several attempts where it's not like it looks like a deep state trying the hardest to take me out, but kind of let's see if we can make up an accident this time, and then another time and things like this. So I'm not holding the video. I also been shot in the leg with a dart gun. Most likely that's what it was. I was shot in the leg with something by a person who worked for the program. And I still have permanent damage to my right calf, right leg, numb spot on my right calf. It feels like I would describe the sensation as a numb pressure sensation. More than 3 years after this happened. And it was something that a perp held in their hand, walked past me, hit with it. And it could have been a CIA dart gun, like a heart attack gun. It could have been an assassination attempt that I survived. No matter what it was, it's something that caused permanent damage to my body. Another thing that I've had, gang stalking mirrors Rosetson. It's very similar to Rosetson, so you can help people that are coming into this. They are looking to understand what gang stalking is, to look at this Rosetson article on Wikipedia, which is a secret recent history program called Rosetson that the German government, post-World War II government, Stasi, had targeted individuals. And this is Rosetson and Wehrkraft Rosetson. And gang stalking that I'm targeted with and other targets have been targeted with it or targeted with. It's very similar to Rosetson. So if somebody's looking to understand what gang stalking is, you can have to look at a Wikipedia article of a past government program called Rosetson. In the 70s and 80s, the Stasi had a program called Rosetson, targeting individuals in similar ways to the way that I'm targeted. Smear campaign, recruitment of agents, so-called flying monkeys. Also, I've spoken on this before, that gang stalking to a large extent is understandable from a framework of narcissistic abuse, because it's narcissistic abuse is a big part of the psychological targeting, gaslighting, narcissistic dog abuse tactics by flying monkeys, where the flying monkeys work for the program will targeted with covert abuse. They will be put up to say, do weird things that the target can detect that here's one of these people work for the program, pushing my buttons kind of. But to other people in the same area, like even in the supermarket, there are flying monkeys, has to have gang stalking, because part of the targeting experience is anytime you go out in public, there's people that are sent to appear where you are. There are agents who work for the program. And not just to be there, but they will get told to say things around you, do things that you can tell he's a gang stalker. And that is what's called narcissistic abuse tactics. It's designed to be subtle. So to maintain plausible liability and be able to call the target insane when they report the truth about what's happening to them. So if the target goes, I get harassed at the supermarket, and then if you can tell that this person is a flying monkey, it's designed so that other people can hardly tell that you can't tell that you're being targeted. So it's very sophisticated. There's ways that they can target you online in real life that you notice you're being targeted, but other people can't, and that's how it works. Now, back to my intro. My name is Max. I'm a target video. I'm talking with gang stalker. Target videos I've been talking for a decade. Gang stalk is real. Most online so-called TIs are not, which means there's more fake TIs out online than real ones. And the crazy talk gives the fakes away most of the time. So commonly calling being a fake target counterintelligence agent, work to cover up gang stalking and confuse real TIs is crazy talk. So most of the time fake TIs will engage in one form of crazy talk or another, which means they will talk about gang stalking, they will appear in forums, message boards, they will leave comments, some of them make videos, talk about gang stalking in a way that discredits the topic. So-called crazy talk, which means if I will make a Reddit thread, my experience being targeted by gang stalking in Sweden or something like this, and there's no crazy talking there. The government doesn't want word about gang stalking get out without sounding crazy because they don't want people to wake up to this conspiracy. So if I will make a Reddit post, for example, my experience being targeted in Sweden by gang stalking, and it's just basic facts, meat and potatoes, just the facts, man, simple to the point. Harassment, physical targeting include but not limited to chemicals, food poisoning, things like this. It's like, oh, the word is getting out about gang stalking, and it doesn't sound crazy. We need to dispatch and send our counterintelligence agent fake TIs in there. Leave a comment, hey, I'm a TI in France. They're beaming voices into my head, okay? And another person, they're remote controlling me, or something like this with satellites. Do you understand? It's like, yeah, I'm stalked in Russia for whistleblower about the flat earth and stuff like this, the space reptilians. Do you understand? So that's a big part of the counterintelligence effort, how they work to cover up gang stalking and keep public awareness at a minimum. And there's more fake TIs online than real ones, and most fakes engage in crazy talk, meaning that is why it works. See, it works. That's why a lot of times if I'm on a panel, I join a YouTube live streamer that has like a panel stream where like people come up as guests and then hang out and talk, round table discussions. And then I go, I'm a talk in the video, or people know me in the community, maybe the host knows, so yeah, here's Mike Science at TI in Sweden, so talk in the video. And then somebody in the chat will write like, what are the voices in your head telling you, something like this. Because maybe they Googled gang stalker on video, and what shows up is people claiming to hear voices in the head, having a chip implant, and things like this. So people have been pre-exposed as being to fake TIs, crazy talk about gang stalking. And so gang stalking is real, but most online TIs are not. And most fake TIs engage in crazy talk, which means they will be talk about gang stalking and make it sound crazy on purpose and include a lot of crazy talk, okay? And you have a small number of people that are organically mentally ill, okay, that have come across this community. And then to give an example, I'm not denying the fact that you might have a few people that are authentically organically mentally ill, such as a paranoid schizophrenic that has auditory and or visual hallucinations. And a lot of times part of schizophrenia will be, paranoid schizophrenia will be paranoid ideation, where they might, here kind of give you an example of what a real paranoid schizophrenic might sound like. It's like, the CIA put a chip in my brain And now I hear voices when I'm trying to sleep. There being voices in my head, and the CIA are broadcasting voices into my head. Okay, and they're falsely attributing their auditory visual hallucinations to technology. Okay, so BTK machines, and I target a real mental ill person that has hear voices and see things. That's like Google search, like I pronounced it. So it's like voices in your head or some machine or something like this. They're likely to find a Scott Snitzer video when he was still active on YouTube. He's retired off of YouTube, where he had crazy talking fake. He talks about gang stalk talking videos, or they're reading your mind, okay? They read your mind with satellites, okay? They control your dreams, synthetic telepathy, things like this. And then the paranoid schizophrenic gets their delusions validated by somebody telling them that, yeah, this technology is responsible for controlling your mind and stuff like this. And then they become part of the TI community, who say, yeah, I'm part of the gang stalking, and they're being voiced into my head. Now, that would be very rare that somebody's an unpaid organic crazy talker, a person believing the crazy talk. Most of the crazy talkers are paid fake counterintelligence agents. Okay, so gang stalkers är most on ideas, and I've been taught for more than a decade here in Sweden with gang stalker videos. And this program is traced back to the deep state. So I don't like to keep everything surface level 1. It's like I find it hard to be like, let's just keep it level 1 because it's hard enough to believe. It's like they go to the root and give a full revelation. So gang stalking is traced back to the deep state. Why? Because the deep state, so-called Illuminati, control this world from behind the scenes. And they control the Swedish government from behind the scenes, and they control the American government from behind the scenes. And ultimately, if something is going on long term in this world, some evil conspiracy, the deep state are responsible for it, because they had the power to shut things down, and they use that to shut down good things most of the time, okay? And take out people that are problematic to the evil agendas, if anything. And I call it government gang stalking because logical deduction inference dictates that this has government involvement, because gang stalking has been going on for more than a decade in Sweden and in America. And if something like this has been going on in a country for more than a decade, and the government hasn't shut it down, that shows that they're involved. That shows that they are allowing it to transpire at the very least. See, they are letting it happen. So you couldn't have something like this gang stalking happen in America or Sweden without the government having knowledge, okay? With all the spying and intel agency stuff going on in this world, where they're spying on people. You have the CIA, you have Swedish intel agencies and things like this. You couldn't do something like this in a country without the government having knowledge. And if they've had knowledge for more than a decade, that shows they're complicit. See, that shows they're complicit, that they haven't whistleblown about it. They hadn't been in a press conference. We figured out there's a secret persecution program working to target people, citizens, and we work to shut it down. They know. So the fact they're part of a cover-up, see, so it's going on, they know about it, they're not talking about it, that shows they're complicit in a cover-up. And it's overly modest to say that they know about it, that it happened, they have involvement, okay? So let's get back to some other stuff. So yeah, I'm a total video, and right now in my living room I'm playing Chuck Langenberg order. So Chuck Langenberg was a total video, and his reporter died, and I do suspect he was murdered. Before he died, he was doing activism whisper like what I do, only not on YouTube. He was doing live talk shows, like small scale radio. This of called blog talk radio and talk show. So he would have a call-in radio show where somehow he could like host live streams on his phone and on a website talk show, and then he could have call-in guests and host a live show. So he was doing total video talk shows as a total video worker to get the word out about this. And he was also majoring on talk about the counterintelligence agent, crazy talkers, and false report groups and things like this before his death, his untimely death. And I would suspect that he got murdered. Okay, I do believe he was murdered, and he's one of the great people that I found online claim to be a TI. That is like, I believe he was a real one. Okay, like 99% certainly he was a real TI. And doing a good job working to get the word out, and he was sabotaged, and eventually they took him out. And I don't know how they took him out. It's hard to find details about his death, but it says that I've seen somewhere that somebody said that he became a warden of the state. So all you can find publicly is a death notice in some newspaper that he has died, okay, pretty much. And then if you research more, I found something where there was something about he became a warden of the state and died quickly after. So if that's the truth, it could have happened that he went nuts from the targeting and lashed out in the supermarket being harassed in there and got locked up in a psych ward and they unalived him in there, meaning they took him out and said that he did it himself or had made him have natural health causes in there or something like this. So if this is a state program, so one of the things that is a risk if I would go and get locked up in prison or a psych ward, I'd be targeted there for sure. And they might even take me out of there because they're going to have plans like psychologists, psych nurses, like at least 1 out of 10 that's going to be on it. And they can be told to do things with psychology. It's up to taking you out. They can even have, I wouldn't be surprised if I would be long-term in the psych ward. They might send somebody in there that's like an infiltrator, a gang stalking agent, like they have flying monkeys in society, told me. So first of all, they can have a doctor and or nurses in there that's like working for the program, okay? The Stasi, 1 in 20 people is a Stasi agent type of thing, and be targeted there. They could also have like, let's get a flying monkey that's a gang stalker into the psych ward, the same psych ward Mike is in. There'll be a guy who's like, I don't want to be very much, so he gets in there and he's like taking orders, like he's been instructed to like target Mikey inside the psych ward. Okay, so these are the things that be risky to target video. Now, torturers etc. receive medical maltreatment on purpose. And I've seen that too as part of a target video. Once again, another detail if I read about as a target video, long-term experience, a lot of research on this topic. Read this section article, it mirrors my experience being gang stalked. And I've had several experiences with medical professionals that looked like they were trying to give me bad treatment. One thing, I went to a dentist, and the dentist was doing directed speech with her, like a tolerant attack. I could tell that she had been instructed to say certain things to make me notice and feel like tolerant. Okay, like the so-called directed conversation, using trigger words and stuff. Resistant. And then when it got to checking my teeth with a dental pick, dental explorer, where that kind of, they're supposed to like tap your teeth to check if the tooth enamel is softened. And she gets a certain tooth here, and she starts acting. My experience is like she was trying to poke a hole in my tooth, okay? She was really like focused on one tooth, pushing harder, and ow, it broke, and I felt pain there. And then after coming home from the dentist, I started having a dull toothache in the same tooth. A tooth infection, indicated tooth infection. And here's another thing. So what makes me think that she did it on purpose? First of all, knowing that medical professionals would be on it a lot of time, that targeted me in ways, acting like she was a person for the program before that, directed speech, using trigger words to her dental assistant when she was working on me. And then her behavior was like, looks like she's trying to breach the tooth and poke a hole in it with a dental pick. And secondly, as I left the clinic, the program had left a dead rat outside the dental clinic. It's like time to me leaving the dentist where I had a hole poked in my tooth, leading to tooth infections, heart attacks, and strokes. There's a dead animal outside, like psychopathic, mocking the victim, kind of, yeah, we're going to be dead like this animal from the tooth infections, what we're looking for, kind of thing. So, now, thanks to God, possibly I've healed that, because if there's like a small cavity, sometimes they can be regressed and reversed and healed. So I don't have a dull ache there anymore. I hope that it's been healed, okay? So if it's a small cavity, sometimes it can be healed, and since it's not a root canal, there's still nerve and blood supply to the tooth. So there can be things going to the tooth that can help to heal it, like ascorbic acid possibly in the blood, and things like this. So anyway, support. Gang stalk is real, most of my peers are not. And I did go to the psych ward after whistleblower. So the state is involved. The deep state secret society power leads control Sweden. And the Swedish state is involved. So you have like the Illuminati, the government, and the government is doing it to you, okay? By proxy, okay? By proxy. So obviously, it's not going to be done. It's not going to be that the people are flying monkeys harassing the supermarket. If you would like do research on them and you find out it's like they're employed in some black budget program by the government, and like every month there's like a paycheck for stalking services provided signed Swedish government or something like this. If there's a conspiracy, okay, they will use proxies. They will find ways to do this. And one way that they could use pastors. So that being a Christian talk leader, I've seen a lot of Christian ministries online participate in talk. It was like I subscribe to YouTube channel and start watching the sermons, and then the pastor starts sadly telling me in his live streams after I subscribe to him with Nazi Star Wars abuse tactics. Now, a simple way that they can pay the pastor for participating is just to have donations. It's like they have somebody leave a donation or many donations every month, and that's like for the stock. It's just a pastor getting tithes of donations. See, okay, and tithing is not something you should do in this dispensation either. So here's the point. Gang stock is real. I'm a real TI, and here's the point. I did go to a psych ward. Okay, I got put on hold, and that's the state going after me. The Swedish police have tried to get me committed before to cover up. Like quickly after I started making videos, got a YouTube channel years back, there was quick an attempt to get me the psych ward and get me discredited as a mental ill person. Right when I started being a whistleblower online, it's like, oh, Mike is outside a cop shop, you're mentally ill, we'll take you to the psych ward, okay? You have delusions of persecution, the police officer told me. Förföljelse mani, okay? So, anyway, if you're a whistleblower, abusive system controls will always seek to discredit whistleblowers. So, anyways, the point, I count as a failed attempt to like get a false diagnosis on me to hurt my credibility. And that's one of the things that you risk if you talk to me though, that you'll be misdiagnosed as mental ill, even by like honestly deceived psych people. So first of all, the deep state, they have plans in every aspect of society. Like every workplace, every school is going to have this one teacher who's like a agent for the deep state. Every workplace, major one, is going to have this one person there that's like an agent, which is why toys can get taught all in society. It is not that they have just to target videos. These people that are targeted videos, if a target video shows up in an establishment or something like this, and this one person they're targeting them, this person can also be used to manipulate people for the deep state and do other things. See? So anyways, the point. I went to a psych course of it. And what's that? That's Darvo, the night attack reverse victim offender. That's trying to get me discredited and committed and whatever. So it was after I was whistleblowing about being targeted in the city by certain types of people. And the same type of people did a Darvo campaign and painted me as mental ill and got me sworn and be like, this guy's paranoid and crazy. He thinks we're doing X, Y, and Z to him. After my experience had been that they were targeting for the program with narcissistic always abuse tactics long term. And after I like start talking about it, the same people go, it's like, we need to paint him as mental ill. This guy's crazy, paranoid, thinks that we're doing things to mess with him pretty much. Okay. And they sent the SWAT team, not Crime Insta, they sent the SWAT team here. And it got me to the psych ward on the night. Okay. So maybe if they would have sent one security escort to knock on my door, say come with us, it would have ended differently. But if there's 6 armed men, trained professional with heavily armed and armored, and it's like they have me surrounded and they have like under siege. It's like, do you understand? It's like it wasn't like that hard to see that the smart choice is to go willingly. Because if I would choose, no, hell no, this, oh my dead body, you come get me. It's like, okay, it's like, whatever, so here's the point. So it wasn't like a lone security guard coming here, yeah, we're here for the government, we're gonna have a wrestling match, if you lose, I drag off to the psych ward or something like this, okay? Because maybe they'll be, okay, I take my chances, okay, take my chances wrestling here for my freedom. So here's the point. I got, so that's not the first time they called to psych ward, the Swedish police. And Swedish police have been heavily involved in targeting me as a target video as far as I'm concerned. So since I moved to this city, I've been intensely targeted. I was targeted before moving to this city. But since moving to the city 8+ years ago, the targeting has escalated over time. And first time the Swedish police, which have been involved in doing things that make me feel like I'm being harassed by them. And it was the same time period where I started like low level getting active on social media, establishing social presence. Now every target is a potential whistleblower because you're the target of a conspiracy that the government doesn't want people to hear about. And people that get bloody murdered typically end up screaming bloody murder sooner or later. So every target is a potential whistleblower. You'll be treated as such by the program. It's not, even if there's no indications that you right now, 3 years into your targeting, it's like enough is enough. I was gonna work to fight back and get the word about this and expose it. It's like the program knows that eventually people get mad enough, they start telling others about what's happening to them. So here's the point. Right on the same season in my lifetime period where I got a YouTube channel, uploaded a few videos, and the videos were kind of like reading a chapter of the Bible and talk about it. So it wasn't really like an intense whistleblower. But I was still like some people that were online friends and stuff like this. I was talking about I'm not talking the video. Like people that you talk to now, they'd be like, yeah, I'm talking the video on Saturday. So during this period of time, they had cops take the psych ward in the middle of the night, Nyköping, and I wasn't committed, okay? But so to the credit of the psych ward eval doctor, he didn't lie and say that I'm crazy when I'm not, okay? And now, so here's the thing. Could it be that this was the program tried to scare me to be like, oh, okay, it's like, let's shut up so I don't get in psych ward? Or could it be that the person working the psych ward that night taking evals was not part of the program? See, that he wasn't like a gang stalking perp agent psychologist, because some of them are. There's gonna be psychologists who are not part of the program. They know about it and they become complacent. Could it be that the guy was not the conspiracy? And it's like the cops are the conspiracy. Like, let's just try to drive this guy to the psych ward and hope that he ends up ranting about the targeting and that the psychologist will be like, sounds like a crazy guy to me. Okay, see. Or was it that it's like he was in on it, but this thing was designed to get me spooked and scared to start speaking out about this, keep speaking out about it. Anyway, and I can sort of tell the story of the first attempt to get me. And I think that it's not just to get me there, but the intention could have been to get me falsely diagnosed as paranoid and crazy to discredit my testimony as a whistleblower. It's like contemporary sluggish schizophrenia, where it's like a thing that I've heard that we used to have in the Soviet Union. People that were like whistleblowers about the evils of the Soviet Union, criticize the regime. They'd be diagnosed by the Soviet state psychologist as sluggish schizophrenia. You got sluggish schizophrenia, you got some kind of mental health problem that makes you think that the Soviet state is bad and out to get people, stuff like this. Okay. So anyways, the point. What happened then is back when I've been thriving while the tour has been on, by the way. I used to have raging CPTSD, PTSD, and I used to have suffer from panic attacks many years into the tournament. I would have a mental health problem, panic attacks. That's a real mental health problem, but panic attacks is not delusion, okay? So I killed myself for that. So meanwhile, I've been thriving. And so people target down like on YouTube looking for narc abuse, narcissistic abuse. They really could learn from me. Because I've been targeted by narcissistic psychopathic abuse on a government level with thousands of flying monkeys online and offline. And it's like in a more intense way than the average. Like garden riding narcissistic abuse happens. It's like the highest level known to man. Meaning gang stalking type videos is state narcissistic psychopathic abuse. With the state, everything is upscaled, see, because the state can pay people hourly to be flying monkeys. It's state level smear campaign, which means before they release deep fake technology to the public, it's like that they could produce fake evidence to use in the smear campaign. So the smear campaign is going to be government level. The recruitment of flying monkeys is going to be government level, where they have like black bodies and money to pay people hourly to be flying monkeys. and then the psychological warfare is going to be government level, because the same people ran Guantanamo Bay and have done like MK Ultra experiments and everything else. So anyway, back at this time period, I was still suffering from CPTSD, PTSD, and for sure panic attacks is a mental health problem. And despite I didn't have to get this to start healing, I've been growing and thriving despite this abuse. I'm in better shape than I'm men. Even the physical shape I'm in is a testament to how well I've been dealing with this and figure out effective strategies to survive and deal with narcissistic psychopathic abuse and physical targeting and everything else without being broken down. Only 1 in 25,000 men have a six-pack, and I maintain a six-pack. So it's like you'd expect from intense narcissistic abuse in of itself, which the targeting does to you, after a decade, that you'd be sick and tired and like depressed and stuff like this. And they call this all PTSD stress weapon, so-called, where you'd expect a person to end up maybe stress eating or self-medicate with illicit substances and get sick and fat and tired, stress eat and get fat, and due to high cortisol, have your testosterone lowered as a man, which leads to belly fat and getting fat and soft and sick and tired and things like this. So apparently like my physique is impressive contrasted to the baseline member of the public. Only 1 in 25,000 men have a six-pack, visible abs, about 35 years old. I'm ripped with a six-pack at 36. Rip James, bitch. I'm ripped with a six-pack at 36, okay? And that's above baseline and kind of extraordinary. It is extraordinary, certainly. Like fitness elite, rare shape, contrasted to any man in his 30s, same age bracket, 35 plus. Now, if you consider that the person having that physique has been a target like intense narcissistic psychopathic abuse, including but not limited to direct attacks on their body, work to sabotage their health, their finances, working to keep them sick, make them sick, and target their mental health, and despite their physical, that really says something. Where I'm the opposite, sick, tired, I'm like the Duracell bunny, strong, fit, healthy, above baseline, and while the talk has been going on, I've cured myself of several mental health problems. So it's not like I had to get it to stop and then begin healing. Sometimes I see on like YouTubers that make videos for like sufferers of narcissistic abuse, and I see a lot of comments where it's like 6 years after getting out of the abusive relationship, I'm still working to heal. Oh, okay. And I have panic attacks or this or that or depression. And the tolerance is on for me, and I cured myself of depression. Wow. I cured myself of panic attacks. That's thriving. That's growing. That's self-actualization. That's growing. That's not just, I haven't been locked into survival mode where it's like, oh, it's like my life sucks, and it's like I'm still hanging on by thread. I'm still alive, but I'm always stressed and depressed and miserable. And no, I've been thriving despite the tolerance. I've been in survival mode years back, but I'm not there anymore. Okay, so while the gang stalking has been going on, I have cured myself of panic attacks. It's a serious mental health problem I suffer from. But it wouldn't be a month where I had panic attacks. I definitely had CPTSD and or PTSD, where I'd be like locked into fight-flight mode like every day. I'd be like super stressed and tense, and there'd be triggers where I get even more stressed. I used to suffer from panic attacks and cure myself of panic attacks. Most people that have like panic attacks long-term as a mental health problem, it gets worse and worse. Like the frequency gets worse and worse, and typically they don't fix themselves. As a matter of fact, even with professional help, a lot of people, it's not that easy to get rid of it. So I cured myself of panic attacks while being a target individual, something I used to suffer from. I cured myself of CPTSD because I don't have, where I'm locked into stress mode. I've also cured myself of agoraphobia, where I used to have severe social anxiety before the talk even started, where I'd be, like if I'm out in public, I'd be super stressed. Like the more people there are in public, the more stressed I'd be. Okay, like general social anxiety, and especially in public environments, I'd be super stressed. Cured myself of that. And commonly call them with autism or anxiety disorders and like comorbidities. Commonly correlated with autism is social anxiety, which is something that I deal with. And what I hesitate for, So yeah, I killed myself with panic attacks. Another thing I killed myself for while being targeted is asthma attacks. So I used to suffer from asthma attacks. I'm diagnosed with asthma bronchitis and prescribed a ventilator, butamol inhaler by doctor. And I used to get panic attacks. And I stopped refilling my prescription, which means I used to collect one every month or two, and I use if needed. And I stopped collecting it, the prescription, because I don't get panic. I don't get asthma attacks anymore. So two types of attacks that have been inflicting me, that I killed myself of, is panic attacks and asthma attacks. Also depression. I used to, before the tolerance started, I got put on SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, as a young adult for anxiety and depression. Okay, and stayed on them for 8+ years, and then quit them, and I'm not depressed. So that's a major success. It's not like I had to get ideal circumstances and then I got some healing. No, despite, against all odds, despite being targeted, I've cured myself with depression, cured myself of panic attacks, cured myself of physical health problem, asthma attacks. And I didn't even stop smoking. So I've been a smoker since around 16 years old, and I cured myself of respiratory illness while there. And I can outperform the average guy in lung performance cardio, hold my breath for 90 seconds, and the average man maybe 15, 30. Okay, so my lung performance, cardio, stamina, it is above baseline despite being a smoker. So this, I have a lot of things that in my life that are extraordinary. So it's like I've enjoyed the life of an extraordinary man and having accomplishing great things and things against all odds. But it's been very hard, okay? It's been very hard. But there's got to be some things that uh, are extraordinary. And part of that, as a Christian going through these problems, persecution, is suffering these things. I'm able to help others. So if a Christian would show up on my channel and be like, I'm suffering from anxiety, I know how to help them. See, if a person has allergies or asthma, I know how to help them. If a person has CPTSD or depression, I know how to help them. See, because I'm a Christian, I had to learn how to help myself, and I learned how to help myself. So I'm a total little talk with gang stalking, and we're gonna get into some routines here. So I'm gonna coming up on my grand post-wake up dose of supplements. So there's 2 major doses of supplements I take every day, and that's the best way to do it. The best way to take supplements is not to take them once a day. So if a person, let's say, if I, okay, use myself as an example, if I decided that I'm gonna take 1,000 milligrams of magnesium per day, I wouldn't take 1,000 milligrams one time per day. I will take 500 morning and 500 nights. I will divide the daily milligram amount into 2 doses rather than like 1 dose per day. Some supplements I take them once per day, and that can be sufficient, like D3, vitamin D3. Yeah, like there's certain supplements that you can take them once a day, like omega-3 fish oil, D3, and things like this. But for a lot of supplements, the best way to take them is to divide your daily amount into 2 doses. And so yeah, I take a grand post-wake up dose of supplements, which means typically within 4 hours of waking up in the morning, I take a significant major dose of supplements, and that's a grand post-wake up dose of supplements. And then there's a second major dose, and that's a grand post-meal dose of supplements, which means there's a big dose of supplements after I finish my OMAD meal. After I break my fast, I'll be OMAD fasting. And then there's vitamin C. I keep that on tap throughout the day, so there's an influx of ascorbic acid in a liquid form throughout the day. An aqueous solution. There's a form. I sip on vitamin C water throughout the day. There's rarely 2 hours that goes by that I didn't get some vitamin C into my body. So we're going to get to taking the grand post-wake up dose of supplements pretty soon. And I'm a raging success, and other ton videos especially need to find my videos and take my advice. I glanced at the clock after waking up today, and it was 14 something, so if I wanted to, I could end up preaching the gospel again. I went on a 24-hour plus gospel strike, and it's over, so if I would end up accidentally preaching the gospel, yeah, I wouldn't be fair in my commitment, but I could extend it if I wanted to. So yesterday I did leg training. Okay, not only did I fast more than 20 hours and not eat,
but in a double fasted state, like sleep deprived and not having eaten for a long time, I did an intense leg training. So I did 6 sets in total, if I recall, for sure 3. 3 sets of weighted squats, 20 kilo body weight squats, 3 sets, okay? And I haven't been training legs a lot. It's been on an off occasion, a micro workout, doing a set of body weight squats on an off occasion. So it's not like something I've been doing on a weekly basis, like leg day or something like this. So I did a pretty intense leg training day yesterday, and I did at least 3 sets weighted squats, 12 reps per set for 3 sets total at least. And I don't remember because I was streaming so much, and so it could have been that I did 6 sets, but for sure 3 sets. And then after that, another stream, still double fasted state. You don't need carbohydrates to fuel your workout, see. Homemade keto is how I live my life. Later on, I did 3 sets of another type of leg exercise, and it might be closest to a farmer's walk or something might be called, where I was carrying 20 kilos and doing laps, where I walked into the kitchen, walk back to the living room, and then back, so for 12 reps, okay? So 12 reps walking with 20 kilos back and forth, 12, 1, 2, 3, okay, 12 reps for 3 sets. And one of the reps I felt like it was too easy, so I've been teaching, there's a lot of things I can teach. One of the things I've been teaching, like health fitness, okay? I have a lot of competence that can really help people looking to be strong, fit, healthy diet, nutrition, supplementation. Now, exercise is not the most important thing. Meaning people are looking to get in shape, strong, fit, healthier. Exercising is not the main thing. It's something that can be done, but it's not the most important thing. Diet, nutrition, supplementation more important, be it for fat loss or mental, physical health. So anyway, I was teaching yesterday on my philosophy, like teaching people on strength training. And what I said was, for strength training, was my coffee. For strength training, first of all, teaching on, here it is. Teaching on strength training. If somebody is not exercising and fat out of shape, or they're like a scrawny guy, do you understand? Somebody who's on a bodybuilder is like, I don't have to talk to them about exercising. It's not as much. It's going to be more important to learn about supplements, which most people are ignorant to. But, hold on, I got to get something. So, I'm a strong man and an overcomer. A lot of people, if they got cyberstalked and bullied online, they'd be like bolting down and whining and crying and start screaming. Okay. It's like, I get bullied on my channel, I'll stop making videos. Me, I haven't let that stop me. I've been cyberstalked and harassed and targeted with haters for years on YouTube. On top of the gang stalking. And it's like, even if people deny, it's undeniable I've been harassed and trolled on YouTube. So for years I had people stalk and harass me and troll and bully and you suck and harass me. And I didn't let that stop me. And I don't have lower confidence, obviously, now than when I started out YouTubing. So despite years of harassment and abuse and very little support myself, it's like 99% haters if they didn't call me my channel. And the shadow banning plays into that, but I did the YouTubers to kind of limit my reach on YouTube. But consistently, it's been like always, if I had a chat open, people coming and harassing me for years. And without like the positives. So most YouTubers figure, hey, like, I don't know, Joe Rogan, he's also going to have 75% of people maybe loving on him. So it's like, do you understand? So it's like a sandwich, where it's like good and bad. So it's different. If you're a person, it's like you got a fan base, and then some people hating on you. That's not the same thing as somebody who only has haters. People are only coming to attack them all the time, every day, all the time, like that. So despite cyber stalking harassment, my confidence hasn't, self-esteem hasn't gone down, and my productivity hasn't gone down. So I've been using it as fuel, as a matter of fact, like David Goggins talks about. And it's not that I can't do the Goggins. I've been told with abuse and have a hard life since childhood. So I've learned things that work, psychologically and physically. And if you find other people that are doing things that work, they also have figured out what works, okay? So, here's the point. I didn't let the haters stop me and make me down. I use it as fuel and productivity. It's not that people come harass me, it's like I stop uploading. It's not like I go live today, and if I have a chat open, people harass me, it's like the next, oh, I won't go live tomorrow. It's like people just come attacking me if I do something like this. And a lot of people are paid to hate gang stalkers or cyber stalkers. So they have a job to come harass me because I'm a public video live streaming. That's called retarded. So, it's possible to endure extreme hardship. Viktor Frankl wrote a book. It has a wide career, can do it almost any how. Man's Search of Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And that's a book that, first of all, if you're taught video, listen to my videos. If you talk about practical stuff, the most important thing is to learn about, take the practical advice. Stop before you go inside your home and learn about supplementation to help yourself be strong. Supplementation, nutrition, things like this. How to stop before going inside the home and watch my simple, to the point, but very effective TS survival portion. Now, if you're going to read books, I would say, well, the most important book I would tell you to read being a Christian is the King James Bible. Okay? But if you're a person who's like, I'm not going to read the Bible, Mike. Okay, but I'm going to read, okay, if you want to read books and you're like, I'm not going to read the Bible, a book that might be good to read would be Viktor Frankl. A Tale of Hope from the Holocaust or something like this, Viktor Frankl. Man's Search for Meaning. Now, anyway. I trained legs yesterday. Quite intensely. And today, I was joking after I was training yesterday, so maybe I'll be crawling out of bed tomorrow, like swimming on the floor. It's actually using the floor by the arm. But, because I was feeling sore already the same day training. And I think I won't be surprised. I can expect the work to be like a very hot walk tomorrow. I do have like soreness in my legs, but that's not too much. So here's the point. Yeah, I'm a gang stalker on the video. I've been told it for 10 plus years. The program trying to get me in the psych ward. The cops have been heavily involved in gang stalking as far as I'm concerned. And right after back when I was suffering from PTSD, panic attacks, and being a lot weaker mentally than I am now. And what I mean weaker mentally is like being more stressed and dealing with psychological problems. So, I used to go outside back when I still had like agoraphobia and anxiety, PTSD, and stuff from panic attacks. I would avoid going outside in the daytime because I'd be too stressed out in public. So, having PTSD and the anxiety I used to have, I'd be stressed, just wake up in the morning. And I understand health sickness. The body is stressed, it's a biological state. It's high cortisol, adrenaline, increased heart rate, so on and so forth. So I'd be like wake up in the morning like stressed and tense and fight more at all times, and then stay stressed and then be like more stressed. Okay, so I would avoid going outside when in the daytime because there's more people outside. I'd be already stressed before I go outside, and then being in a public place with a lot of people around there makes me more stressed. So I would back then. So notice how I've been growing and been ready to sex. I haven't required cognitive behavior therapy or big pharma drugs to have the success. I've been healing myself. I've been succeeding healing myself. So used to have agoraphobia, extreme anxiety, unable to go outside in the daytime, and now I'm a lot better. So I used to avoid going outside. We're talking like 7+ years back now. I used to avoid going outside in the daytime, be stressed, then wait until it's dark and go to my grocery shop in the corner store. Because it'd be less exposure, less time outside if I go to the corner store and buy my groceries there. And I wait until it's dark, there's less people outside. Because I would have so much stress, and then stress, like agoraphobia stress, the public places really make me super anxious and stressed and things like this. And now I go outside, I kill myself, and my haters don't like that. I can speak truth or personal, being a trans and overcomer, where and also be there with other people that suffer from anxiety, depression, all kinds of stuff. And that is the specific problems that I've had and overcome. But generally, people suffer from anxiety of any type of kind could learn things from it. So anyway, back when I was still having like raging CPTSD, PTSD, I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to look traumatized and be traumatized. It's just so traumatized. Oh, okay. No. So here's the point. Back when I would have these problems, could go outside really, and I would avoid going outside back then when my CPTSD was bad and I had panic attacks and social anxiety to an extreme degree of agoraphobia. I would wait until it's dark, and then if I want to go outside, take a walk, exercise, I wait until it's dark for the few people running and take walks. And go grocery shopping in the corner stores. Because there's less time spent outside and less people in the corner store in the supermarket. So I did my grocery shop in the corner stores, okay, back then. And one of the times when I was outside exercising, like at night, after dark, jogging, I was being harassed by the gang stalking program, like neighborhood watch people, and they were harassing me, working the crazy making work and get me worked up, and like stalking. And like I was jogging, I remember this, I was jogging through and I jogged through like a villa neighborhood, and then there's a four-wheeler car with like a big light rig on it, and like a loud engine. It's like shows up, and I'm jogging through the neighborhood, and he turns in behind me. That's a gang stalk as far as I'm concerned. Okay, it's like, and he's keeping pace with me behind me, the vehicle. Okay, so it's not overtaking me. It's got a light rig, like extra lights on the four-wheeler, and a loud engine, and it drives in behind me and go, keeping pace with me. So I'm jogging. Okay, I'm not sprinting. I'm jogging, and it's like you see the light and hear the engine. Look around. It's a car that's like driving behind you. Okay, then I was like, that's weird. And it's like I keep jogging, and it keeps pace with me. Okay. So that's gang stalking. That's a gang stalking, like maybe a neighborhood watch guy is part of a gang stalking program. And they're working to crazy make me, they're working to get me worked up, understand? So being an autistic target reader with the mental health problems that I had, I'm more vulnerable to the target. So once again, available to people that have mental health problems or anxiety that don't have also like autism and so but I know to improve mental health problems works worst case scenario, see, not ideal. You have to get rich and live in a cozy village left alone to start healing. What I've done to heal and maintain the strength that I have, that works worst case scenario, low income or disability, being gang stalked and harassed by the government. So anyway, this car was stalking me literally, and they're trying to get me more worked up than I already was, okay? And it's like I pick up speed and keep run somewhere else. And then out of nowhere, there's a cop car that shows up, see? So after this, there's like, looks like someone trying to stress me out while being gangster tornado. It's like I'm jogging and I keep jogging. Eventually, this car disappears. And I'm jogging over to where I've gone feeding the ducks before in my live streams. The same area where they had like a bicycle walking path. And I end up in my right jogging there and then past the duck pond. And then there's a cop car that shows up. And I'm jogging and then I see another car. And then they get closer, I can see it's the cops. And they stop on the path, open doors, like, hey, and I go, they want to talk to me, I guess. And I stop, and they parked a little bit further off.
And I'm like, you want to, yeah, and I get to them. And they just pat me down and stuff. They did find a knife on my person at that time, okay, brottmålsknivlagen, which means, since I'm a public here, it's like I don't have anything to be ashamed of. It's like if people pull up my criminal records, there's no like SAs in there or pedo bakery stuff or it's like robbing grandmothers or something like this. It's like petty stuff, okay? So I've only been convicted of petty crimes, like petty theft in my early 20s, I'm 36 today, and carrying a knife illegal in public concealed, which is called brottmålsknivlagen in the Swedish law book, which is a crime against the knife law, okay? And a few times I've been convicted of carrying a knife in public, okay, which you're not allowed to do in Sweden. So yeah, you're not allowed to. You can't have a knife in public in Sweden. Now, from experience, I know that it's not like a video game where it's like if you have a knife in your pocket, it's gonna leave you home. It's like a wall, like a mine wall, where it's like this part of the map in the video game is inaccessible with knives on you, and it's like you have to take it off to be able to leave your home. So it's not impossible to carry a knife in public, even though it's illegal. But I don't recommend it. Okay. And seriously, I've stopped doing that. So it's been maybe 6-7 years since the last time I was caught with a knife in public, and I've stopped carrying knives in public. Okay, I don't do that anymore. So anyway, so they did, as they approached, I did have a knife on me, which is maybe not that strange because the cops are not doing their job in stopping criminals from persecuting me and harassing me and communicating threats. So the program I'm taught with, big part is communicating threats. The program has attacked me physically before, and the cops are not doing their fucking job in arresting the criminals or shutting down this gang stalking prosecution program. So it's like, can I be blamed that being a lone person out at night being a target video to his target program, harassing, stalking them, sometimes attack them physically, and okay, that they end up feeling like they need to arm themselves, okay. So anyway, now as I said, I don't recommend that. This is just telling a true story of my past. So I abide by local laws regarding self-defense and use of weapons at all times. So I did have a knife on me, okay, at this time. And I took the knife off me, and I had a notebook on me where I had written down Psalms, like Bible verses, okay, which is also part of how I've been living, where a lot of times I will have a Bible on me, and if not a Bible, then notes with Bible verses on them. Now I got into a point where I know the Bible by memory well enough, so I'm carrying it with me inside of my temple, okay. So here's the point, okay. So here's the thing. So they found a notebook with Bible verses about being persecuted. I think they had the Psalms in there about persecution, and a knife on me. And the psychologist, no, not the psychologist, there was a female cop and a male cop. And after patting me down and they got the knife off of me, they go, I think that you have delusions of persecution. And I don't remember telling him there's like people are chasing me or something like this. And if I did, it would be true, because I had just been stopped by a car following me on my jogging route. Okay. Now, so he goes, I believe you have delusions of persecution. Jag tror att du har förföljelse i mani in Swedish. I believe you have delusions of persecution. So if you're working off of memory, it's best to go to, like, if it's a conversation in Swedish, what you say in Sweden, and then you translate it to have more accurate. So I believe you have delusions of persecution. And I go, all right, but I don't, I'm not crazy for this. And they put me in the car down to the psych ward. And then we have to sit, and here's another thing too, but it looks to me like the cop was working for the program, working to discredit and step a false diagnosis on the TI, to discredit and hurt the testimony, just when it's still visible at a low level about gang stalking. It looks to me like there was a gang stalking cop who was in on the program, who was serving the program by getting me to psych ward and trying to get a diagnosis on me, get me committed to hurt my testimony. Because it looked like they were out looking for me, see. This is a small town. You rarely see the cops unless you're Mike's side in the city.
I told him the video. It's happened so many times that I go outside, I else we go to the grocery shop, we go to the restaurant, and the cops show up and want to talk to me. It looks like they're trying to harass me, make me feel uncomfortable. That's the point. Let's tell the story, finish the story. I told it before, but it's like, let's finish the story. So after they said it, we think you're crazy, they take me to a psych ward in the middle of the night in Nyköping. And it looks to me like he was trying to get me stressed out and worked out possibly. It looks to, like, analyzing the event from the outside, it looks as if he was trying to get me into the psych ward, okay, and like he was trying to kind of wind me up a little bit, which I can analyze. So let's say that the reason I didn't get falsely diagnosed by the psychologist in the eval is that he wasn't a perp gang stalking agent. He was like a plant in the psych ward. I told you before that the deep state of the gang stalk had plants all over society. And the cop wanted to have me be falsely diagnosed. So conducive to that desired outcome had me be falsely diagnosed as mental illness, getting me worked up, see? Because I've used this example before, so low-level amateur acting, where it's like, if I tell you, basically, if you are stressed, you appear more insane, like perception. Meaning, if I prepared like a script, or like I want to tell people about what's happening to me, and I wrote down like bullet point facts, I gotta make a video and tell somebody about, I'm a gang stalker, told a video, here's what's happening to me. Now, if I would deliver that line, it'd be like, I want to tell people about being gang stalked, without a script or not. I don't have scripts for my videos all the way. I do everything live impromptu. So if I would go, I'm a part of the video, I'm a part of a secret porn called gang stalking. It's similar to Sursat song, and people harass and stalk me. Okay. Now if I go, I'm a target, I'm stalked and harassed. People stalk and harass me. Follow me around in the supermarket. That's similar to a guy who puts Sursat song. Okay. Now I look 10 times more insane, delivering the same line, saying the same thing, just by being in a stressed, worked up state as I'm saying it, see? Which is also what you would expect if the person's testimony is true, see? So it's not like, oh, that proves you're crazy. As a matter of fact, if what the person is saying is true, it's like natural outcome. You can expect, yeah, a person might be really worked up and hyper-adrenalized if that's what's been happening to them for many years, okay? So basically, I guess some of his behavior looked like he was trying to get me worked up, so, which confirms what I said, that he was trying to get me in the psych ward. That might be his job. Go find this guy who's out jogging, say he's crazy, take him to the psych ward. And then they're hoping that the psychologist, if he wasn't in on it, because the worst case scenario, the psychologist is in on it, and it's like he's been briefed that your job is to get this guy involved committed, and like he's crazy, that's your job. Before you even show up, your job when you do an eval is to write down he's crazy, okay? No matter what he tells you, no matter what he acts like, no matter what he says, your job is to write down guy's crazy, okay? Now, possibly that wasn't the case, and the cop was trying to get me wound up, to get me stressed. So anyway, after we arrive at the psych ward, there's like a waiting room, okay? There's a rectangle room with chairs and stuff. And it's like we had to wait. They arrive, we have a guy here that needs to be validated. And it's like the nurses, stuff like we had to wait. So there's somebody's got the job to do the eval, so there might be a waiting list. It was like, yeah, you can sit down in the waiting room and we'll find a guy to do the eval, okay? Then we'll sit down in the waiting room. And on the other side, it'd be a room like this, where I'm sitting here and he's sitting over there. So it's like a row of chairs there, and then a row of chairs this way. I'm sitting like over here, and I sit over there. And he's sitting like looking at me like this and cracking his knuckles, okay, which looks like he's trying to intimidate me and provoke, like create fight-flight mode stress, understand? Because I'm sitting over there looking at me intently and like cracking his knuckles or things like this, see? Which is like, if you see that, it'd be like, if I was understand, if I was just sitting in like a waiting room in the hospital, and there's a guy sitting over there, I start looking at him in the eyes and start cracking my knuckles and stuff, he might feel like this guy it looks like he's gonna jump me or something like this, okay? So his behavior was very provocative, where he was sitting there cracking his knuckles, like staring at me intently, which right before, as I'm waiting to talk to a psychologist and see if I'm crazy. So once again, if you want somebody to look crazy, you get them stressed out, understand? Now, anyway, I went into the psych ward, the eval. Once the guy called, okay, you can. Now here's the thing to part of the story. Also, he was acting as if I was crazy when I wasn't. So before this, when we arrived at the psych ward, like the reception is like psych ward hospital, okay, and they parked the car, and I'm like, uh, they sitting outside, we parked, and I go, är det någon som ska möta upp oss här? Which is like, is there somebody coming to receive us? Or like, okay. Jag bara, vad sa du? Måtta upp vadå, sa du? Like this. Where it's like, I'm asking him, we're sitting, the parks at the psych ward, and we're just sitting there, and I go, is there somebody coming to receive us, like to meet us? And it's like, receive what? What coming to do what? Or something like this. As if it's like weird. It's also gaslight, as if he's reacting as if I'm crazy just because I'm asking questions. It's like, well, you said what? What? Or something like this. But that was his behavior too in the car. So, anyways, the point. And eventually, and I go, yeah, I said to come receive us. It's like, oh, yeah, well, I'll be here soon. And then the same guy, when he's in the waiting room, is sitting over there and like cracking his knuckles and looking at me. Which I'm sitting there waiting here, and he's like looking at me and he's sitting there cracking his knuckles. Which looks like he's getting ready to fight me or something. He's also like looking me in the eyes, which is stressful for autistic people too. Where it's like looking me in the eyes and crack his knuckles and so this. So his behavior was, he acted more crazy than I was, okay? Like he's paranoid and acted, notice how his behavior is more mental than mine was. Because he's act like he's paranoid and like he's hearing me say things that I'm not hearing. Where it's like, he's act like things that I'm saying that are normal or are strange, and he's like acting paranoid, like it's a reason to get ready to fight me or something. So I'm just sitting there chill and like look at the floor or the wall or something like this. Okay. So anyway, here's the point. While waiting, and I don't know if it was maybe around 15 minutes or 30 until I got to see the psychologist do the eval. Okay. Okay. In the middle of that, there's like a nurse or doctor that comes into the waiting room and goes like, yeah, so everything, how things going, kind of just peek in. And I guess sometimes they do that. There might be standard practice because maybe if there's somebody in there, they go to check on a person because it might be that they need help faster than just sitting away from eval. There's the point. There's somebody like a nurse that comes in there and goes like, so how you doing? And I go, I'm a little bit stressed, as I recall it, something like that. It's like, well, I'm just kind of stressful, something like this, but I'm okay. And she goes, you're not hearing or seeing anything, are you? Or like, not like, maybe more like this. Or are you hearing or seeing anything? And I go, yeah, we mean like the dragon in the corner there, like the alien. So I cracked the joke. You mean like the alien in the corner there? And they go, that's a joke. Okay. See, I cracked the joke. It's like they really detest it. They go like, are you hearing or seeing anything? And I know what they're asking for. Because I know psychology, these people have paranoid schizophrenia, they hear voices, see visions. So it's like, I'm in here because some people think I'm crazy. So it's like, are you hearing or seeing? We mean like the little green man in the corner over there. And they go, that's a joke, okay? No, I'm not hearing or seeing anything, okay? I'm seeing you right now, that guy. So do you understand? It's like a joke, okay? So eventually I got to see the guy, and maybe was, 10, 20 minutes of talking to him. And he's got like a notepad, and it's just me and the psychologist in the room. And he goes like, so how you doing? And asking the questions and what happened and stuff. And I was out jogging, and cops show up, and they say they think that I'm crazy. I'm not crazy, okay? And yada yada. And if they ask you questions, like there might be things they had to ask you, like, are you hearing voices? No. Or that's the truth. Are you seeing things? No. Okay. And then yada yada. And eventually they took me home. I got to leave the same night, and after being left there, the cops were still there. And obviously this was a trauma. Every time this is a low-level trauma, at least low-level time this happens. So I'm upset. Like in the middle of the night, being men stealers, the Bible talks about, like abducting people. So being men stealed again by proxies of the state, being a Christian. I'm there, okay, and it's in the middle of the night. I don't have a driver's license. I'm low income disability. I don't have the money to order a cab for like $200 or something like this. So and no money. It's like I'm what I had on me as they abducted me is what I had after I'm in another city, like 2,300 hours maybe in the middle of the night, or midnight or something like this. Okay, and it's like I'm in a different city in the middle of the night, have been let go from a cycle, or not crazy. Okay, and it's like that can be a big problem. So I go, it's like, how do I get home? Okay, I don't have a car, and I think maybe the psych ward asked the cops if they could take me back again, and then the cops go and calls a superior maybe, uh, frivillig körning or something like this. It's like they go like, hey, they had to check with somebody. It's like if they could give me the ride back if they give me a ride there, and it'd be like, it's like, hey, the boss, can we give this guy a ride home or something like this? And they cleared it, and then they took me home again and dropped me out of some house. So that was the first time that it looks like they tried to get me involuntary committed in a psych ward. And the second time, it was worse because I had to stay for an eval for like around 36 hours in the same psych ward. And once again, it was the cops that came to get me. Now, the cops didn't come to arrest the people in this apartment complex, a neighborhood that had been breaking the law, harassing an autistic individual for years, getting them to start get more destabilized psychologically. No, they come here to put the victim in cuffs and parade, and they have that the perps walking by and look at me in cuffs, the criminals that be breaking the law. So they've been working to break the law because all of the things that the program does to you, it's illegal, or like most of them. Big part of the time is communicating veiled threats of harm against me and loved ones, things like this throughout the years. Threats of violence, insinuated or not, are illegal in Sweden. And that's like one part. The run-of-the-mill targeting tactic, psychological targeting program is threats, okay, of harm. I've been sprayed with chemicals. That's assault crimes, okay. So harassing people in of itself is illegal. If you have somebody to make this person feel abused, send people around them consistently so they feel harassed and stalked, that's also illegal, okay. So after being harassed and thought about it for a long time, it's happened at times that it gets to me and I get livid and worked up and rant and rave about the perps and okay. Now that's not me being crazy. That's me reacting to targeting. So the cops. So let's tell the story of the last time that I got put in a psych ward. So last time it's after, and I totally never stopped throughout this year. So being gang stalked, targeted. In this city, being harassed and targeted with gang stalking, fly monkeys target me. Does it happen that me as a target individual, being an activist, streaming live online, that I've ended up acting out and saying and doing things I regret? Yeah. But does that mean that I'm crazy? No. So I'm an autistic person, and with autism, more vulnerable to harassment and stalking and narcissistic abuse and things like this to begin with. Well, you ought to be, okay. I've been getting a lot stronger. So I might be harder to break down with this than an average person who doesn't have neurodivergency. So, but here's the point. So after many years of targeting, does it happen sometimes that I act out? Yes, because that's the intention. So the program works to destabilize you psychologically, harass you, work to push your buttons, work to give you CPTSD, PTSD, and then trigger it repeatedly in public. They work to harass you, target you mentally and physically every way. And it's intended, they're working to drive you nuts, understand, and push you over the edge. And now and then it can work to some extent, where you do get worked up and act out, okay? And especially, meaning with the autism that I have, I probably have enough on my plate to keep it together without being targeted with stalking and harassment. Meaning I probably have enough on my plate, work to keep it together. A lot of people with ADHD, autism, they find it hard to manage and cope with daily life stressors to begin with. Now, if you add people working to stress you out and mess with you, that's even more. So what's the point? Yeah, so here's the point. Yeah, so what happened was the second time I went to the psych ward, I had started talking about certain people being involved in the toilet in the city. And it's like ranting and raving. A lot of times when I get the most unhinged is if I'm sleep deprived, if I haven't slept for a time. It's like right now, if I went to the supermarket, get stalked and harassed, maybe I wouldn't be that worked up about it. But it could be that if I don't sleep the whole night after that, being outside, being harassed and targeted, that I get to a point where it's like the target starts getting to me while in a sleep deprived state. And like things, it's like, oh yeah, I remember now they did that to me last Friday or something like this. Last time I was in supermarket, they even did this, and I'm getting worked up. There could be things, part of the dealing with this is suppressing things and not reacting to everything. So if you get stalked and harassed, like obviously I've been a person that's able to control my behavior to a level where it's been 10 years of this and I didn't get locked up for like lashing out violently or something like this. Okay. Now, so here's the point. Uh, I had been I had started whistleblowing and talking my streams about some people being involved in the targeting. It's like even these type of people are involved in the targeting and like getting specific and talk about certain people being involved in the targeting. And the same people do what's called Darvo, is what it looks like to me. Darvo tactics, the narcissists and psychopathic abusers like to do, where they work to target a target with narcissistic abuse, SAHA, wire flying monkeys, narcissistic always abuse tactics to push a person's buttons. Narcissists love to provoke you on the sly in front of others, baiting you to respond to their covert aggression with reactive overt aggression, making you look like the aggressor. See, that's a big part of targeting, where they work to have people target you in discreet, subtle ways, and then you get worked up and angry about it, and then you look like the person who's the problem. See, so that's part of run-of-the-mill narcissistic abuse. Is also part of gang stalking, where they work to target you with narcissistic always abuse. And I've talked this before, that if you're a target video and the program works to target with narcissistic always abuse with flying monkeys, via flying monkeys, but it's what? Covert aggression. And if you have reactive aggression, if you react to their aggression with reactive overt aggression, okay, you appear like the aggressor to a lot of people as intended, and like unhinged and paranoid. So that's a big part of how they bait you. Have people target you in ways that you notice. And if you go, you're targeting me for the state government persecution program, or you're paranoid and crazy Darvo tactics, deny attack, run sick offender, or this guy's accosting me with accusing me of being a government agent and saying that I'm pushing his buttons and I'm not doing anything, you're just paranoid and crazy and we worried about you, might have to go to the psych ward or something like this. So here's the point. Yeah, so anyway, the night I got into psycho the second time, and you're disgusting filth. Stop watching my videos. 0 viewers. I have a lot of people tuning in here, but not one person clicked the like button. That is disgusting to me. That's narcissistic behavior too. I'm here to get something from watching my video, but I can't reciprocate loads down or hit the thumbs up button. So maybe it's the gang stalkers tuning in now, or just the average narcissistic dirtbag who's like here to get things. They're watching videos, they're looking to get entertainment, looking to get something, but they can't hit the like button on the person's stream. So that really irks me. So even that, sometimes you have 6 live viewers and it says 0 likes. It's like 6 people watching and not one to click like button. That gets me triggered sometimes. So anyway, here's the point. So here's the point. Yeah, I got taken to the psych ward, and I was concerned they might take me out in there, like unalive me. Okay, make it look like I did it myself, or make me have an accident, or make me have a natural health problem there, or whatever, or put up a psych ward inmate to shank me as I'm like tying my shoes and then not looking or something like this, and be like, oh yeah, it's just not the deep state that took him out or anything. So anyway, and I might have to figure out a way to make money off of this. So I've gone to like less freebies. Okay, don't count on me working to provide things for free. Cast a plus for swine, and I give that which is hold out the dogs, so it's a trample on the foot returning and around you. Okay, so notice how that's true. How the viewers are like the proverbial pigs and dogs primarily. Cast out your pearls value before swine. Now to give that which hold out to the dogs, is a trample on the foot returning and around you. So as I've been making this video, what I've been doing here, I've been a person who's sharing valuable, inspirational, and pragmatic solutions to mental health problems where people are being served. People that are autistic or have anxiety problems or depression, or hearing somebody talk that can teach them how to overcome and suffer less and see improvement. And people are not even click a like on that because people are disgusting narcissistic freaks. We live in a narcissist epidemic now. The end times where men are lovers of their own selves. Okay. Perilous times shall come. So anyway, here's the point. Second time I went to the psych ward, I think they might take me out there. And I'm saving the best story for podcasts on Rumble, things like this, especially now when people aren't hitting the like button here. So, but in short, I got taken to psych ward again after whistleblowing about being gang stalked and targeted by flying monkeys, and these people are telling me the same people do Darvo and call the cops and the psych ward, say this guy's nuts and crazy, he thinks we're doing bad things to him. And then the SWAT team comes here and gets me in cuffs and put me in the psych ward. And I had to spend the night, so maybe I was in there for 24, 36 hours or something. So it's like I arrived at when maybe 1900 hours, 20, spent the night, and it wasn't until maybe around 1500 hours the day after I got let out, so around 24 hours. And once again, I got to see the day after spending the night there, I got to see a psychologist to do an eval. And he didn't say that I'm crazy and paranoid. He didn't. So to his credit, and I had to be careful to give credit to validify the psych ward, because I'm not a fan of contemporary psychiatry, and the people in the same psych ward, if I take it again, they might next time be told by somebody to be like, say that he's crazy. Okay. So anyway, here's the point. Now, to his credit, the doctor doing the evaluation, I don't feel like he was really told me for the program, or that he was, okay. So I got to see a doctor and that, and he wrote me, he signed me out, and I'm not crazy, so it's always good if a psychology expert, like a doctor, professional, if somebody's not a paranoid, delusional person, in truth, they're not mentally ill, they don't have delusions of being persecuted, actually being persecuted. And in short, if a person is not paranoid, they're not a paranoid schizophrenic, they're not crazy, and they see a psychologist, and the psychologist doesn't say that you're crazy despite that being not the reality, okay? That's always a good thing, okay? So I got signed out of the psych ward, and we'll see if it happens again that I get taken in there. I'm working to keep it together, to not give them any excuses to get me in the psych ward. I'm not living in fear of getting put in the psych ward, even though if I do get in there, I might get murdered in there or something like this. There's always a risk of tornado. I'm not living in fear of going to the psych ward. I have a sense of responsibility to keep working to get the word about this and create exposure. And yes, there's a risk involved. It's dangerous to fight for what's right. It's dangerous to fight for your freedoms, like the founding fathers. It's dangerous to stand up for your human rights, your freedoms, and not enable abuse of you or others. It's dangerous to stand up to bullies and tyrants and tyranny. It's dangerous to enforce boundaries against narcissistic abusers. It can be dangerous, but it's also dangerous not to. It's also dangerous not to. Pick your price. Pick your poison. It's dangerous to be a coward who keeps your mouth shut and know that you're being targeted and other people being targeted. You see society being corrupted by Stasi type programs. It's dangerous to keep your mouth shut and enable it. Jordan Peter has a quote about when people, good men, do nothing, what happens. So if you're a Christian, you know what's right and wrong, and you know about satanic, tyrannical corruption in the nation, and you keep your mouth shut. That's not good. So, yeah, it's dangerous to do what I'm doing, and I've gotten told more intensely since I started speaking out. but I was targeted to an unacceptable level before I started speaking out. See, so it kind of made it easy for me to make the decision, easier, meaning before I started whistleblowing, like working to expose gang stalking and get the word out, I was already being targeted to unacceptable levels. And I got to a point where it's like I could have died from this, like come close to dying. I have my health declining. After being targeted with chemicals, I get allergies to chemicals. I start having intense asthma attacks when the program releases perfume around me that I'm allergic to. And it's like they target me directly physically. They target me extremely. And I could end up dying from this. And yeah, they might try harder to target me and try harder to take me out if I start speaking out, but I decided to start speaking out. So here we are. Yeah, so I'm going to take my grand full circle bottle supplements. And you disgusting freaks that watch my videos and don't hit the like button, I don't feel like I'm serving you with the videos because you don't deserve that. I'm making videos, content, because I like to make content. And there'll be people that come across this live stream, they will hit the like button, appreciate what I'm doing, and might even leave comments and ask or say thank you or something like this. So don't feel like I'm still trying to do good to you, to the viewers that are just narcissistic. And you think that I'm crazy because you're more mental than I am. Because I live in reality and know more truth about this world than you do. And you think that I'm crazy. So, I'm starting today with the liposomal vitamin C sachets. Today's Grand Pulse Weekend dose of supplements. This is Ultra C, liposomal vitamin C. I take 2 forms of vitamin C. This is liposomal vitamin C, liposomal encapsulated vitamin C, and there's a gram of vitamin C in there. So there's 2 forms of vitamin C that I take. So-called regular ascorbic acid vitamin C powder, which is sourced from Amazon. They make more vitamin C water with it. And then there's liposomal vitamin C. And it's a gel. This slide is pretty annoying to me, but for a little bit needing design good lighting, it's worth it for a short amount of time. So here's my egg supplements. So thus far, liposomal vitamin C. Next up, omega-3 fish oil. So as usual, I'm doing fasting, so I'm not going to eat until after at least 20 hours from the last time I ate. So I fast 20+ hours per day. And I woke up around 4 hours ago, didn't eat since. And I'm not having breakfast, but I do take a dose of supplements this other day. And this doesn't kind of break my fast, because it doesn't have enough carbohydrates to kick me out of ketosis. Then it's not going to take me out of ketosis. So this is vitamin C water. That's B complex supplements. That's for liposomal, today's Grand Pulse supplements. Liposomal vitamin C, omega-3 fish oil. This is ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an adaptogen. Adaptogens such as ashwagandha lower cortisol, the stress hormone. There's sort of many things that are done to help with anxiety and stress. So, ashwagandha. Magnesium complex. This is a magnesium complex supplement. It combines multiple forms of magnesium into one capsule. So it's not just one form. This is a magnesium combo, magnesium complex. There's several types of magnesium in one capsule. Liposomal vitamin C, omega-3 fish oil, magnesium, and ashwagandha. vitamin D3 with K2, and lactobacillus reuteri. So this is a D3 K2 supplement that has a probiotic strain added to it. This is a first time supplement. This is L-theanine with GABA, GABA. The reason I bought this is the one that I've been buying from the same company, L-theanine. They raised the price to 190 crowns per can. And this month my budget was lower than normal. And I looked at it, it's like, oh, well, I need to buy coffee and this and that, so, and caffeine capsules. And so I didn't feel like I could spend $20 on this. So I found a cheaper one that was 99 crowns rather than 199, so like $10, if I recall. And it has a small amount of L-theanine, but a significant amount of GABA in it. So there's 50 milligrams of L-theanine per capsule. And take that in. So I'm a Christian being persecuted. Not every Christian gets persecuted. And unfortunately, I've seen a lot of Christian ministries participate in persecution. Gang stalking is a program designed to destroy your life. It is persecution. And unfortunately, I've seen Christian ministries and pastors participate in it, meaning targeting me for the persecution program. This is niacinamide, aka vitamin B3. And I'll take a little bit less than I normally do. I'm needing to ration it because either I hope that I have a second can somewhere that I put somewhere and forgot about it. If not, I bought less, like one bottle instead of two, which I normally do. But here's the point. Normally I take 3+ grams niacinamide per day, but there's not enough in here to do that for more than 2 days in a row. So I'm taking less niacinamide than normal. I'm rationing it. There you go. Vitamin C water. Now I'm going to wash my hands. And what I use to wash my hands is natural apple soap, which is part of my health fitness coaching. Teaching people how to do their health. That's part of detox lifestyle. So most people use perfume-scented hydrogen cleaning products that have like 16 different ingredients. And I believe that's what the average person uses. The hydrogen cleaning products are toxic and recommended we can't only to start like this. So what I use to wash my hands and this kind of perfume and wash concentrate natural apple soap. I use natural apple soap for showers, washing my hands, cleaning my floors, everything. And I have a kitchen bottle, and it's not too much left. I have other doors in the bathroom. So this is natural apple soap. And there's no perfume. It's without perfume, no scents, nothing. It's a little flower. Teach you that too. It's a rule of thumb. If it's a common hybrid cleaning product, commercial, it's like a big bag. It's what most people use to wash their hands, shallow. And if it's fragrant, we can tell it is toxic. So if it's common, what most people use, like a commercial product, like Head and Shoulders, shampoo, eggs, shower gel. If it's something that's like a major thing, that most people use this, then it's perfume something. It's going to be different. I use natural apple soap, and it's 3 ingredients: flower oil, olive oil, and sodium. And it could be all the oil, doesn't matter. It gets the job done to clean my hands, and I'm not producing toxic things. And transdermal absorption. Transdermal absorption means if you get something on the skin, it can get through your skin if you boil it. So I wouldn't be comfortable putting all this toxic chemical all over my body in the shower and inhale the fumes around, and then having it all over my skin too, which is oil. And transdermal absorption means absorbing things to your skin. Yeah. Let's go to the next. Go to the next video. Keep washing these. And once again, what I use for the washing machine, I use like a mild product. I don't use these 15 kilograms super intense chemical products. They might be better at removing dirt and stuff, but they have a little more harsh to do the chemicals. So I use this $1,500 technique. It's dishwasher tablets between three. And notice how the same as left shop I used to wash my hands with, there's not like a toxic chemical product. I don't know, most people use it. I can use that to hand wash lots of hands too. Now, what I'm doing here is just kind of pre-washing it and then use big solid. That will be like a quarter sheet here. I'd like to remove that before the washing machine because you can call that the filter, especially if you don't use like a more intense chemical dishwashing tablets. It might not break down in the washing machine for the potato chip that's left on this and put in the washing machine. Let's start loading up the washing machine. And this is from yesterday. This is from yesterday's picture. And this is the double too. I like the steel wood, so this is steel wood. And that's the good, that's the so far. I use vinegar in the washing machine. So they have in the washing machine a little box you can put a dishwasher tablet in. And they have another one you can pour liquid, like dishwasher food liquid. Now I use vinegar in that tablet for the wind cycle. It works well. One thing I don't like is, for some reason, like a lot of things that they have like certain standards when they build apartments and buildings, and like the door frame should be this wide and this tall. And in my opinion, I think a lot of things are too low, okay, where it was like leaning over too much, whereas the countertop, as far as I'm concerned, is too low, like at my hip wall, and I think that's too low. It is bad ergonomics. Yeah, if I wanna rub here, it's like I don't like it too low. Like the countertop is too low. The sink is too low. A lot of things are too low. Then maybe if I would get to a point in my life where I'm building my own house or something like this, then I get some contract with the house. I'd ask them to have it a little bit higher. I prefer the ones at this level. It is better than all I'm going to be washing something here, the counterpart here. This is a better level than this. Okay. And ending up having to remove it. Same with the sink, I think it's too low. And it might not be extra low here, which is generally. I did 2 yesterday. Normally I do OMAD. Yesterday I did 2 more. After breaking my 20+ hour fast, I ate twice rather than once, which I normally do. And that's not a failure or like a discipline. Okay. Meaning, I don't have it to rule to do. I never decided that the OMAD 365 days a year every day. So it's not a failure discipline holder or like failure. Meaning it's not like a discipline or cheating on my diet. Meaning I've been doing OMAD fasting for 6 years now. 300 out of 365 days per year or so. And on a rare occasion I do 2 more. Still fasting sometimes. On a rare occasion I do 2 more bread and OMAD and eat 2 times. Like 24, okay, which is not a fasting pattern. Now, most days I do OMAD and on a rare occasion, after fasting 20+ hours instead of eating once, I eat 2 times. And yesterday, I did that. Why? Because I've done an intense leg training exercise. I've been sleep deprived, so it's like, if it's any day I should do 2 mad after fasting, it's now, because I was sleep deprived. I didn't sleep for 30+ hours. I worked out hard, and if there's any day to do 2 mad, it's for a day like that where I'm gonna have an increased recovery need, and I could do with some extra calories and protein. So yesterday I ate twice. Here's a grater, okay? Do you feel the grater? Maybe you should. If you're a person watching this and you're the average person and you feel that I shine, and it's like, that's a big part of haters, the ones that are not paid to hate on me. It's like they see me do better than that. It's like the average man is undisciplined. They don't have this strength of character to fast 10+ hours. And if I look at a lot of Christian pastors, they look like they need it more than I do to fast 10 hours per day. That's fast, like this in the feed and stuff like this. Now, it's like, unlike the average man, I'm not a filthy porn addict or a sugar-free addict. So the average Christian man watches porn at least once a month. Okay, I haven't watched porn once for more than 7 months. I fast 10+ hours per day, and I'm not a sugar addict, which is why it's not hard for me to fast 10 hours per day. And that's also where a lot of people hate on me, because they see me being superior. But that's looking and then correlating with that is superior character. So unlike the average man, I'm not lazy, I'm disciplined, porn addict, food addict. Then it makes me feel bad. Now, other Christians do well to follow my leading example in getting more discipline and overcoming the porn addiction that Christian man has. The average Christian man is a filthy, fornicating, porn pervert, sex addicts, porn addict, and a sugar addict, and mental abuse yourself. So, as a Christian man, you shouldn't have to. Another thing that I quit is drinking alcohol cold turkey. Meaning cold turkey sounds like it's a different alcohol. I went from drinking on a monthly basis to more than 7 months now. More than 8 months, not a drop of alcohol. So the rolling, that's like sober October, was like on his podcast. But for October, no drinking alcohol for a month, okay? I'll try sober year. So I'm 8+ months into a full year sober. So I quit drinking 100%. I used to drink now and then. And I committed to 4 years sober, and I'm at least 8 months into it. So not a drop of alcohol. OMAD fasting has many benefits. And OMAD and keto are one and the same thing. Meaning, if you do OMAD fasting long term, you're in keto. You'll get into this state known as ketosis, where your body switches from relying primarily upon carbohydrates for fuel to ketones, fat basically. And do OMAD, you do keto. So people that want to do keto and don't want to do OMAD, if they're gonna eat 3 times per day, they're gonna have to work harder to eat a super low carb diet. But if you eat only 1 time per day, you don't have to be as careful with what you do when you eat, because, and here's the thing too, I do believe that if you do OMAD, the daily carb limit is increased, which means you can eat a higher amount of carbohydrates in a day if you eat only 1 time per day than if you eat 3 times per day. Because carbohydrates being a short-term fuel source, if you eat 75 grams of carbs, carbohydrates in OMAD meal, and then you're fasting 24, 23 hours after that, you're going to run out of those carbs. So, OMAD keto. So what is my diet I'm going to do? I prefer to eat low carb meal, high fat, high healthy fat, and high protein. And some of my OMAD meals are kind of carb heavy and more carbohydrates. But I'm still in ketosis because I can't see much today. So how to do keto? You need to get, if you research how to do ketosis, how to get ketosis. Typically what you get if you research is they draw 50 grams of carbohydrates per day to reliably induce and maintain ketosis state. Now I do believe that if you eat only 1 time per day, that raises the limit of carbohydrates you can consume in a 24-hour period while still getting us into ketosis. Maybe as much as 100 grams of carbohydrates. Maybe you could have 100 grams of carbohydrates in the OMAD meal, as long as you're fasting 24 hours after that. So here we can pick this. This is the Super Shake bar from yesterday. I love the strawberry shake and extraordinarily energetic and performing at a high level of protein and discipline. And maintain a disciplined lifestyle. Low sugar diet. I eat a low sugar diet. Fast 12 hours per day. Take a lot of supplements. No more supplements. So, I gotta get vegan now. So, this is the dishwasher tablet, and it's this perfume free. So if you're in Sweden, you're looking for a dishwasher tab recommendation, recommend that. This is vinegar, for the folks in vinegar. And this is what I use in the washer. The washing fluid compartment here. Just a little bit. And sometimes if it's like, sometimes I put 2 tablets in there. So, good. Actually, this time I have put in 2 tablets. I don't like it if I open the washing machine and it's still dirty. And I have to put on it. So I'll put in a second one here. About a 90 minute program. So that's needed. I have a 30 minute program, a 90 minute, and then it comes
160 minutes on that. So I go
90 minutes here. Let's start. So I put an extra dishwasher tablet in here. And then this one here. And this one didn't fit, so we'll get that next time.
I still have the live stream going with playing Chuck Langenberg audio. Calling him Chuck Langenberg, who was murdered on the Holocaust. And I'm streaming live to one whole YouTube and Twitch at the same time. And this phone stream is early too. My legs are still slipping yesterday. What I was expecting, I'm not surprised by that. I've done all the live streams and then after we talked about I just remember that. There was somebody asked if I could call them later, that's what they call the road there. Well, no, I wrote them. Text them on the asked if I could call them. I just don't have time. And that's gonna be the every live stream.
I'll still be live in the living room though.
I have a live stream over here. Playing Chuck Langenberg right here.